Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza is one of my favorite books of all times. I've read it around 7 times, and I'm about to embark on number 8. But on this video, I want to share with you how you can even kind of hack his work a little bit more so that you can ingrain it deeper into your subconscious, learn it at a quicker rate. And if you are going to read this book, I'm going to show you how to read it faster, quicker, make it internalize more, and also show you how to utilize this in a way that you can really customize your learning. I've really started understanding this on a deeper level because of the fact that it's no secret we're all living in the world of AI. And I love AI so much. I'm always talking on this channel about how to utilize AI to become the best version of yourself, to raise consciousness, as opposed to being feared about it and just using it for simple little business automations and how to write emails and stuff like that. I use it in a very different way. And on this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. What's up, guys? My name is Nico Rapclis. I've been in the personal development space for over a decade. I've read hundreds and if not thousands of books. I've spent tens of thousands of hours learning in all different modalities. And this book shaped my reality so much that I even started building a complete company that was surrounded this work. I'll get into that here in a little bit, but I want to talk about something that's very alive for me with this particular book. Now, one thing that really spoke to me when I went through this book the first time is the whole idea of visualizing, seeing that future that you want, right? But you have to understand a couple other things before we even get into that. It's all about the clear intention and elevated emotion, as he talks about. And the more that you can program that in, the clear intention and the elevated emotion, the more you're going to experience the life that you truly desire. He has several testimonials in this book. One that really stuck out to me was a lady that was in Austria, I believe, and her husband ended up committing suicide, and that forced her down a very deep, dark path that almost killed her. She got to the point where she was bedridden, cancer, had tumors and things all over her ovaries. It was terrible, right? And then she realized the power of meditation, the work of Joe Dispenza. She got coerced into going to one of his events and drank the Kool-Aid, so to speak. It didn't happen over time. It didn't happen instantly, but it happened over time, and she completely healed herself. Now she's living the life of her dreams and running a thriving business. And I was like, that's crazy. That's powerful. And I've learned about a lot of this visualizing stuff. I learned about it back when I played college baseball, and I would visualize hitting home runs off the scoreboard, and it would happen. The 7, first pitch, the last inning, that specific. So I know that this stuff really works. And it was just listening to this book while reading it, which is the hack that I wanted to share with you guys. Listening to this book on Audible or Spotify. If you have a premium account, you can probably find it on there. You can find a lot of books on there. And then you get the physical book. And that's the best way that I've found to learn this stuff at a very quick rate. But again, I'm going to show you how to do this even faster, even deeper, and utilize it so that you can have a custom experience as it pertains to you specifically. Like what else, what other kind of tools do we have where we can actually have that capability? It's crazy, right? So here's the thing though, I think a lot of people miss it, and this is where I was coming back to and where I really found a lot of powerful realizations recently, right? But it's that elevated emotion, that feeling, right? So most of us are in this world and there's a lot of distractions. There's a lot of things that keep us in what's called beta brainwaves, right? It's that kind of scatteredness. It's the on alert. It's a little bit stressed and anxious. And how many people are experiencing that on a daily basis, all throughout the day, from wake up to go to sleep, and probably while they're sleeping too, right? Their nervous system is absolutely fried. So for people that are like that, and the lady that I was explaining that's in this book that was like thinking herself sick, it's also because her nervous system was programmed for sickness. She was pulling her past into her future on a consistent basis. And that's what's really going on. Is people are pulling their past, stress, worry, anxiety into their future, and they're addicted to those emotions, and they just keep bringing it in. They just keep bringing it in. They just keep bringing it in, right? So we have to be very intentional, right? Clear intention, but elevated emotion. You have to choose the emotion that you want to, align with. Is it joy, abundance, gratitude, love, peace? Whatever it is, you have to train your nervous system to feel that on a consistent basis, right? If you can't do that, it's going to be very challenging to live the life that you truly desire, okay? So it's really about putting yourself in a very resourceful state, because when we're in a resourceful state, grounded, calm, peace, that's when we can start really gravitating things into our life. And that's actually what happens. That's really the science behind all this. And that's why when people go to Dispenza's events, because they're a part of a group that are all getting into brain-heart coherence on a consistent basis, that is why they're experiencing magic, right? So it's key. When you go to a Dispenza event, you get immersed in an environment where that is the norm. That is regular. And they're doing that for 7 days, 10 days. I still haven't hit one of the events. I'm going to at some point. It's on the list for sure. So with that being said, why am I talking about all this in this specific way? Well, as I mentioned before, we're building a company called Vision Espresso. It's an app. It helps you deeply understand yourself while clarifying your vision and your intention. And then from there, it creates a custom audio from your future self that's in your voice that has emotional frequencies embedded into it. So what I was thinking, we condense it down into a 6-minute audio, and it's so powerful. And I was thinking about this too, as like, is 6 minutes enough to get people into brain-heart coherence? And so I was starting to think, like, how do we get people into brain-heart coherence? And I wanted to understand that a little bit deeper. And I also wanted to, I wanted to figure out how it pertains to the partnerships that we're building out with a vibroacoustic company and also a light therapy company that can help people get into brain-heart coherence before they're even hearing their future self talk to them, telling them how amazing they are and how they're showing up in a very powerful way. So I went to AI, and I was actually I was on a day trip driving out in Oregon, and I decided, hey, I'm just gonna while I'm driving, I'm gonna talk to AI. So I want to show you kind of it would take a little while for me to actually pull up that entire dialogue, and I think it'd be even more powerful for me to just go through this with you and show you how I would do it in real time. So I have my ChatGPT open, and I've had a new realization recently. Like, yeah, you can build out custom GPTs, you can build out projects that kind of keep things in the lane, but I'm starting to realize more and more every single day is that the more that you interact with this thing, the more that it just understands you, and the more it has a vast knowledge. And it's the only thing that is stopping you from getting really quality answers is giving it proper prompts, but even further, proper context, okay? Giving as much context as you possibly can. And for me also, I personally like talking to it. So I almost look at this from the lens of that it's like you're almost having a conversation with Dr. Joe Dispenza if you do this right, okay? So I'm gonna show you exactly what I mean. So I have 2 tools that I highly recommend that you utilize when you're interacting with AI, when you're acting with anything, really. These aren't pertain to ChatGPT. I just personally love ChatGPT. I've just really gotten used to it, right? So the 2 plugins that I would highly recommend is WhisperFlow. And the reason I love WhisperFlow is now I can just talk to AI. And you can literally use it for anything. You don't have to just, as it pertains to ChatGPT. But basically, all you have to do is hit the function key. So I say, hit the function key, and all of a sudden it starts typing out what I'm talking. Boom. Quick, easy. I can talk to it, and then it types it out for me, and then I can hit enter. Obviously, I won't enter that. The other thing that I would highly recommend is you getting Speechify. Now, I use Safari, so there's actually a Chrome extension. I personally like using Safari. And so I just highlight that, and I hit the play button.
Hit the FN key, and all of a sudden it starts typing out what I'm talking.
So it's really powerful. It's like the closest thing that I've discovered to actually just having a conversation with AI. And I think the more that you communicate like in this way, the more powerful it's going to be, the more you can get your thoughts out quicker. And the more you do this, you're going to get more accustomed to this. So I want to show you a dialogue on how I've been utilizing this and show you how it can pertain to your specific situation. Again, think about it like you're almost having a conversation with Joe Dispenza. So like I said, I think it's very valuable to give it as much context as possible. So I'll just kind of show you what I'm doing, and then we'll kind of go from there. Hey chat, so I am actually making a YouTube video right now in current time, and I want to show the audience what it's like to have a conversation with you and give you a lot of context. And I also want to talk about specifically becoming supernatural and Joe Dispenza as it pertains to Vision Espresso and everything we talked about a couple weeks ago, so that I could understand brain-heart coherence on a deeper level, and I could help my audience and my people and my clients get into brain-heart coherence quicker, easier, so that way then they do the meditations and they do the Vision Espresso Future Self audios, then that way they can actually slip into brain heart coherence and reap the benefits so much more. So what I want you to do is I want you to operate as Dr. Joe Dispenza, and I want you to give me a full breakdown on brain heart coherence, and then I want you to ask me 2 clarifying questions on what we can do from there. So boom, the whole thing is written out. So obviously I'll hit enter and I'll let that thing start chapping away. But here it just like really gives me, like, based on all that, now it gives me a really good understanding of what brain heart coherence is. You know, it's talking about most people live in survival mode. They get the brain out of sync. I don't want to like go into all of this because it would take a while for me to like read all this, but you kind of get the idea. And then what's cool is that now it's like, okay, now that how this pertains to Vision Espresso, 2 clarifying questions. Okay, do you want your Vision Espresso system to include a short coherence induction, breathing, heart focus, gratitude before the future self audio, so people can reliably slip into this bright state first? So it's just like I'm having a back and forth conversation. So I'll just answer that. When you share this with your YouTube audience, do you want to frame the coherence as a science-backed practice, HRV, nervous system, neurochemistry, or more of a spiritual practice? So I'll just answer those really quick. So for me, I really would like to incorporate the short coherence into the Vision Espresso, which is ultimately what we already discussed and what we already talked about. And then for the YouTube audience, I would kind of do it a combination of all of those. I think it's really powerful when we kind of merge what I like to call as the woo and the do. So I look at the spiritual practice as more of the woo, and then the backed practice, that the science-backed practice, is more of the do. So that's what I got. And then also I'm communicating to them and showing them how powerful it is to use AI in the way that I've been utilizing it. And I also want you to put it down into a 5th grade reading language so that it's really easy to understand. And I want you to use a lot of metaphors when talking about brain heart coherence, so that we can truly understand what this is on a deep level. And that way we'll be able to explain it to other people. And then when we are able to explain it and teach it to other people, we know that we've internalized it and it's in our subconscious. So that's another little hack that I like to share as well, is I really love to tell chat to say, hey, explain this to me like I'm a 5-year-old, and also give me a lot of metaphors so it's easy to understand. And then again, just like what I said in there, I was like, I want you to help me understand this to the point where it's deep into my subconscious and I can tell people about it, I can talk about it, I can talk to it with you guys, and then that way I can really internalize it. It's deep in my subconscious. So I think this is so cool. Like, imagine your brain is like a radio station that sends signal out, and your heart is like a big speaker system that everyone can hear most of the time. Your brain is blasting one kind of music, worry, stress, hurry, while the heart is thumping total different beat, fear, tension, doubt. It's like 2 DJs fighting for control of the sound system. The result, static, noise, and chaos. So then it goes into, and then it has all these different metaphors, and then connecting it to my specific situation. Now imagine drinking your Vision Espresso. That's powerful audio where your future self is speaking to you. If you first put your heart and brain in coherence, it's like warming up the cup. So yeah, I mean, it's like already, it's like Vision Espresso is really cool, but it's almost like you gotta warm it up. You gotta warm up the brew for it to be like a proper drink now. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of the gist I wanted to get to you guys, and just help you understand how I'm operating with AI, how I'm utilizing it to raise global consciousness. That's the big mission of Vision Espresso. When everybody, as many people as we can, listening to their future self, talking to them, tell them how amazing they are, and their life is unfolding really beautifully and intentionally with an elevated emotion. Like, what would happen to this world? And so we always offer our free sample. At least right now, we might change some things around. But if you go to visionespresso.co, you can go check it out and get your own. It'll give you like a 1-minute sample. It usually takes around 10 minutes to complete. It's really simple and it's really cool. So go ahead and check that out. The links will be down in the video description. But beyond that, I really appreciate you, because I again, like I said, I absolutely love Joe Dispenza's work. And I think it's really, really powerful. And obviously, I've built a company that surrounds a lot of his work, and I, took the concepts from Mind Movies and really elevated that using AI. And the other thing is, like, it helps you subconsciously reprogram yourself, because it creates an elevated emotion right away, a peak emotional experience, because actually going through the process of creating it helps you really have a peak emotional experience. Then you can use the repetition to the subconscious mind on a consistent basis to listen to that same peak emotional experience. And then every time you're listening to it, you're actually building the proof that you're becoming that person. And the more that you go back to that audio every single day, you're programming yourself to be in that clear intention and elevated emotion, as he always talks about. So it's a powerful tool, and we're just really excited about it. So one thing that I'm starting to do on these YouTube videos is I want to know who's all sticking around to the end. And I like to call you guys my trees. So if you're still sticking around here, why don't you leave a tree emoji or a coffee mug emoji down in the comments, just so I know who are my diehards, and excited to see everyone that came through. But I appreciate you guys. We have a free Skool Community as well. So if you want to plug in deeper and jump on our Vision Espresso Cafe calls on Fridays, those are all free. So yeah, would love to have you in either way. Appreciate you. Tell your friends, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.